Hi everyone, welcome back to the Property Finance Podcast, and today is a much more informal setting. So for those of you that have watched the podcast for the last, 8 years I think it's been going now, we have traditionally always kind of been studio based, and that's kind of where the content's always come from. But as you can see, I'm currently stood in my kitchen, which appears to be the best lit kitchen in the world. I think I count at rapid count about 25 LED lights currently lighting me up from all different angles, with a lovely breeze on what is the hottest day of the year today. So at the point of recording today, I think it hit like 31, 32 degrees. So apologies for the informal setting, the background noise, everything else. This is kind of, I just needed to get something out. So I was very conscious that we've not done a market update for a very long time. And I was also conscious that the last 3 or 4, maybe even 6 weeks, have just been me putting out kind of old Property Finance Academy content, which, albeit mega valuable for you guys hopefully, but isn't kind of what we want to be putting out at the moment. So market update time. So where we're at, obviously we operate predominantly in the bridging and development space. That's what we've always done. So for us, it's been relatively unchanged. The Bank of England increases, the gilt increases, the SONIA increases, swap rate increases, everything else haven't really affected what we're doing. So we've seen a couple of bridging lenders, a couple of development lenders who are based off of the Bank of England base rate. So they will lend at a margin above the Bank of England base rate. We've seen obviously them go up, but actually the ones who are privately financed, and to be honest, that makes up predominantly most of what we do, we actually haven't really seen any difference at all. So we are still doing development finance at, I've got one at the moment, 9%. That's all in, that's not 9% with some additionals, that's 9% all in on development finance at 65% loan to GDV and 90% loan to cost. That is market leading. There's no one I know of, lenders-wise, who's putting out rates like that. We've also got bridging finance going out the door at 0.72%. That's, again, a lot of brokers tend to come on and go, oh yeah, we're doing 0.72%, but what they don't tell you is that that's like 50% loan to value. Well, for us, actually, we're doing 0.72 at 75% loan to value. And in some scenarios, we're at sort of mid to late 0.7s, even at 85% net. So we've got products now that will do 85% net day one, as long as it fits within 75% post-refurb valuation. So really, really handy product to have. That's where we're at on bridging and development. So, and apologies that this is going to be quite a short, sharp episode. It is still like 30 degrees, and it isn't really the weather to be recording content, unfortunately. But that's kind of where we're at on bridging and development. On the buy-to-let side and on the commercial mortgage side and on lending for SaaS pensions and lending for social housing and lending for supported living and service accommodation, all these other things that we do, they are taking a hit and have been for some time, as many of us are aware. Bank of England base rate obviously went sky high, has come back down again to, I think we're at 3.75 now. It's probably going to hold at that point for a bit of time now, I would have thought. I think we were realistically hoping for like 3 or 4 drops this year. We've so far had 2 holds, I think we're at. So we're not where we want to be in terms of the Bank of England base rate. However, obviously everything going on in Iran isn't helping that. That being said, that does seem to have quietened off a bit. Trump seems to have sort of brought himself back in check a little bit. I don't know, maybe he felt like he'd bitten off a bit more than he could chew. But that certainly seems to have quietened down. Gilt rates were up last week. Swap rates were up last week. They have now come down ever so slightly. So the gilt rates are down slightly, swap rates are down slightly. We are talking fractional compared to what they were at in terms of, it's a fractional drop. Rates are holding at the moment. So when things first kicked off with the Iran war, we were literally getting bombarded with emails. We're talking 20, 30 emails a day about we're pulling products, literally in some scenarios, 12 hours notice. You need to get these applications in today. We are pulling these products today. And it was like, right, okay, well, what do we do? I remember in particular, we had 3 HMOs that we needed to get in. And I literally had a BDM on the phone. He was like, we are pulling the rates now. You've got to get these in. And God bless him, he sat on the phone. These were the guys over at Lendco, and I don't mind dropping their names because it was phenomenal what they did for us. Jumped on a call and actually sat and filled in applications with me so that we could make sure we got them in on time. So that's how urgent things were changing. So yeah, massive kudos to them for that. So yeah, we've seen that calm off slightly in recent times. As for what's going to happen, I really don't know. In terms of where rates are going to go. They're holding steady at the minute. People constantly say, do you think I should go for a 2-year, 5-year? I'll be honest, none of us know. Anyone who sits out there and goes, oh yeah, you should go for a 2-year, you should go for that, they don't know. For me, I personally would hedge on the side of probably a 5-year at the minute, purely because we don't know where we're going to be in 2 years' time. We've had COVID, we've had Liz Truss, we seem to be getting new Labour Prime Ministers incoming, I would have thought. There's no stability whatsoever. So from your own perspective, going on to a 5-year might just give you some of your own enforced stability, which, Jesus, we're not getting it from anywhere else, are we? So that's probably where I'd be at on something like that. But again, I don't have a crystal ball. I can neither confirm nor deny where we're going to be at this point in 2 or 5 years. So yeah, we're still doing supported living. We're still doing social housing. The only thing with supported living, and this is a big thing, is vulnerable tenants and minors. So, and I'm not talking about the ones going down in the mines, I'm talking about anyone kind of under the age of 18. So if you're looking at getting into, we've had one of these this week, like foster transition care. So we're talking about 16 to 18-year-olds moving from foster care into these transitional homes, and then they then move on when they hit 18. Lenders aren't mega keen on that because they see them as both vulnerable and minors as well. So that kind of thing is tricky. There are lenders who will do it. Don't expect it to be a phenomenal interest rate because it just won't be. And I think that's part of where we're at the moment, is kind of re-educating people as to what the norm is for mortgages, because there is a lot of people who are coming to us and saying, yeah, I want 4.5% with no fees. It's like, yeah, but lenders aren't there. Lenders were there 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I mean, maybe a bit more recently than that, but those are the interest rates of yonder. They are not where we're at now. We can be at 3s and 4s now, but you're probably talking a 3, 4, 5% arrangement fee. Because lenders at the moment, I would say, if you were to annualise, so that's where you take your interest rate and then you break your fees down by the number of fixed years you've got. So for example, lenders might be at 4.5% with a 3-year arrangement fee on a 2-year fix. Well, that's 6% when you annualise it, and that's pretty much where lenders are at on buy-to-lets, commercial mortgages, so HMOs, SA, that kind of thing. On actual full-blown commercial, probably closer to 7-8%. It's not pretty out there at the minute for mortgages. So yeah, update from us. We are busy, which is lovely. I love being busy, and loads of brokers go, oh yeah, we're busy. We're genuinely busy. And it's with a lot of development finance, a lot of bridging finance, a lot of refurb stuff, so a lot of houses into HMOs, a lot of offices into HMOs, doing a lot of commercial conversions. So there's a good variance of stuff. We're also busy on supported living. We're also busy on social housing. We're also busy on HMO mortgages. And we're also busy on SAS pension mortgages as well. So that's something that we don't really shout about, but we actually have the ability to put a mortgage into your SAS pension. So quite a complicated thing to do, but if you hold property in your SAS and you're looking at releasing some of the money out of that, give us a shout. We can kind of talk through that. Again, not the cheapest finance by any stretch of the imagination, but an option should you need it. We're also looking at quite a few hunting pots at the moment as well. So that's people who have got unencumbered property who are essentially looking to raise finance out of it to go and find other property, but they want not necessarily to pull all the money out in one go. So they want to maybe have a 200-300 grand facility and be able to draw it in tranches kind of as and when they need it. So that's kind of where we're at the minute. It's not much of an update, but it's an update. Kind of gives you an idea as to where we're at rates-wise, kind of what we're actually putting out the door. What I'll do is I'll kind of try and follow this up with maybe a couple of Q&A sessions as well. So if anyone's got any questions about the current market or just any questions in general, ping them over. There's obviously the comment section on Spotify, comment section on YouTube. Ping some comments in, and then what we'll do is we'll do a video, a podcast episode, actually answering those questions. And one of the things as well is I've got heavily into AI again, which I know a lot of people are getting into that, but I'm kind of heavily into Claude at the minute, which again, a lot of people are. But that's something I want to bring into the podcast as well, potentially, is sort of talking about how you can use AI to actually do all of this, and talking about the financing and finding opportunities and deals and everything else. So if that's helpful, useful, let me know. But otherwise, hopefully that was a helpful update as to where we're at. Keep the questions coming, keep the support coming, because it does mean the world, especially on YouTube as well. We've seen a massive increase in YouTube numbers. It doesn't always look like it, but comments and views and everything else looking really good. Spotify, I think we've had something stupid like 80,000 plays now, which I'm over the moon with. And yeah, this podcast has been going for best part of seven, nearly 8 years now, I think. So yeah, thank you so much for the support. We will continue to deliver as best we can, and yeah, look forward to catching you on the next one.